Hello and welcome to a new series of videos we're going to be doing here at Ellis Clark Trains. The four of us and others I'm sure down the line are going to sit round and have a bit of a chat about model railways, bit of everything really. Today we've got Chris.
How you doing? You alright?
Neil.
Hiya.
And making his YouTube debut, Dave.
Yeah, I've done something like this before, I think, Ellis, actually. So, but
maybe.
still, good to be here, mate.
Yeah. So we're going to get going. We're going to talk and you can listen in and see what goes on, and we'll let it roll.
Yeah.
And Albert's just backed up. I don't know if you heard that or not, but he's not joining us at the moment today because he's not got much model railway knowledge, to be honest. So,
I think he's got the biggest fan club, though, hasn't he? Really? So.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
So there's more trains than the rest of us.
This is the point where we edit in a picture of him for a few minutes now, and people have that moment.
I'm sure next week, after the amount of demands and thumbs down, we're going to have to put him on the sofa instead of Neil.
It's been good knowing
so,
you.
yeah. A YouTube professional. So we've all put a few different bits and bobs on the table. I've brought some stuff out of my cabinet of curiosities as well, although loads of it's not here today. But what do you want to talk about, guys? Because this is the first episode and we have enormous amounts of stuff that we chat about here.
I think
and
the most exciting thing for the week is these.
The little drophead couplings.
Yeah, they're not far off now, are they? They're quite a lot of anticipation for these little things.
I think there's been more and more people speaking about these over the last month or so than there's ever been.
Yeah,
people are really noticing these now, aren't they? I reckon.
It worries me. More people ask about these at a show than they do Black Fives or Wickhams or Press Floors.
But are you 100% that everybody really knows that they're actually a fully working drophead coupling? They're not
point.
just another version of a KD.
What you're sort of getting at is we are that amazing.
Yes.
We have made a working Buckeye coupling.
Buckeye coupling, which, you know, from the customer point of view, what an amazing thing. It now means that you can couple up your Darstead coaches from ourselves or other manufacturers' coaches to your locos without having to hack buffer beams apart, without having to put different couplings on the end. You can use them prototypically. You know, what a great thing. What do you think, Dave?
Well, that's the thing, innit? I mean, I know Chris has had like sleepless nights and years of therapy from not being able to put the right couplings onto his stock. You know, because you've either got to go one way or the other, haven't you, at the moment? You've got to have screw couplings, or you've got to have Buckeyes, whether it's Cadiz, whether it's Easy Mates, something like that.
Yeah,
but in real life, that's not how it is. I mean, you look at most coaches, you look at things like the back of Gresley tenders.
Yep.
They are full on. You know, you get your Buckeye, you put it down, etc. I mean, there's probably a few volunteers who are watching us, or people who work on preserve railways who are thinking, "Oh yeah, no, that works on the shackle." This is close. You know, this is pretty much.
I must admit, at that point, it's a lot easier than a real one. So you're not putting your back out with these.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll say is, from the amount of pre-owned that we get through at Ellis Clark Trains here, we see a heck of a lot of old gauge pre-owned. The amount of coupling configurations that people try to make up. That no disrespect to you guys out there, you're trying to make it work for you, either due to eyesight, due to ease of layout, can't reach, etc. There's loads of different ways.
Well, even us though, sorry to interrupt, but just like with like the Mark 1s, we decided to go down the KD route. But then obviously, what do you do on the local end sort of thing? And then you have to
you snookered
sort of thing.
Yeah. What happens when you want to put your coaches in a different formation?
Yeah, exactly. Mix it with other ones.
But
and stuff.
I mean, even down to the suburban coaches that we do,
fitted
with prototype screw couplings. We still
couplings.
get people that want KDs fitted.
Exactly.
So you can't win either way.
So one question I've got about these, obviously I'm the new kid on the block at ECT still, but what's the whole thought process behind these? Just they're getting it right in real life. Can we just do that like them, rather? Because you don't see all these different coupling systems on real life. You don't have a real coach with Cadiz, do you?
I honestly can't remember how they started now. I can't remember whether it was Nikki who put it to me that she wanted to design one of these, and then it went from there. Nikki, our CAD designer, by the way.
Shout out to Nikki.
Yep.
I think it's more of a challenge, wasn't it?
I think
Can-
it
can
was.
make
Can it be?
work
Can
that
it be
developed into a project that developed into a product?
Well, when
you know.
Nikki talked about it and the way we wanted it to work like the prototype, first thing we both said to one another, we were like 50-50. Don't think it'll be strong enough. Don't think we'll be able to make it so that it's got the strength, the detail, the accuracy. But
She's done it.
well, you and me tried to break it, didn't we? We
we've
tried to
had-
pull it apart, like literally put it like that, and I hope it doesn't do this now. But it's really embarrassing. But literally, I think you even grabbed one end, and we had like, I'm not going to do it now
Took
because
it
if it
off,
don't work
yeah.
for the camera, it's really embarrassing. But
well, we must have had at least about 10 samples, I think, over
Yeah.
the process from start to finish, and every single one, I've had dints in my fingers, I've had cuts where the
Yeah.
washers have dug in, you know, and I've really gone for it. And the worst I can get them to do is bend the sort of shaft at the back lengthways, sideways, which will never happen because
it
the
won't.
stress
No.
never goes there.
No.
I'm going
And
to
that's
be.
because of the thin metal, but downwards and upwards it doesn't.
I'm just going to be
be
health and safety guy here, by the way. You're not going to get cuts on your fingers.
Oh, this is the metal work
that's
time.
that's a Chris set of instructions, not an ECT one. So
that's Amy in your head there.
And the other superb thing about them is they actually work with the KDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
work together perfectly with the KD and work with them.
I think we're looking at the wrong market though. I think the fidget spinner market is where these
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
belong.
The amount of times I've
Everyone
sat there
just
like
needs
you,
one on the
just-
desk just to
yeah.
do this with.
Just hooking them up and
Hooking
down.
up. Yeah.
Ellis Clark Games has started here. and
Yeah.
now you heard it first, you know,
Yeah.
it's-
And I believe they're pretty imminent, aren't they, Ellis? As in-
They're literally meant to be with us tomorrow
Yeah,
as
when
we do this
was
video.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people who are watching this, they're going to be here, aren't they? Really? Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, by the
Yes.
time you're
Yeah.
seeing this online, they're probably in stock now.
The
Yeah.
thing with these is they come down to the same testing as every product we've released as, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Between you, me, and Neil and Dave to a degree, we've tried to break them.
Yeah,
We've really tried to destroy them, and
Yeah.
we haven't got one touch wood so
No,
far
that's-
in bits, have we? We haven't
No.
broken one as such.
And the other thing I must stress is they're not just a Mazakite sort of cheap casting.
Oh
They're a
no.
machine. They're
Yeah.
machined.
We
up,
couldn't believe how clean they were,
knuckle,
could we?
basically.
Yeah.
They're a
So
proper
fine, the
working,
metal.
working item, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
everyone we've had off the production line is the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
It's
cannot
immaculate,
spot the
isn't it?
difference on them.
They
So
all do what we've never had one
Yeah,
lock up,
no.
we've never had one have burrs.
They're like a
or-
piece of jewellery almost,
Yeah,
aren't
they
they?
are, absolutely.
We should make a
Yeah.
ring out of one as
Yeah.
well. Start selling.
We do as earrings.
Yeah,
aren't we?
bucket.
gonna
Yeah.
Tony will be
Buckeye
swapping their
earrings.
earrings out for her.
Yeah.
My wife will be swapping her
If,
earrings
if you get
out.
those for Tony for Christmas and she's mad, don't come crawling back to me.
There's a nice
But
bed there for you to sleep on.
there is a returns policy.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are. Well, when you're watching this, these are out now, aren't they? Really, and they're
Yeah,
packs,
yeah.
Of, packs of
Yeah.
two, isn't it? So you get
Yeah.
one
pair,
coach's
one
worth.
pair.
You get a
Yeah.
pair.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's the salesy bit. There's a discount after 5 pairs, 10%.
Is there really? I never knew.
If there wasn't,
Where,
there is now.
where would you find that
I think it's just
discount,
done
Chris?
something that we didn't know about.
What website would you go to find that and others?
Follow the link in the description.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
But,
it's
they'll-
something exciting.
Yeah,
It's-
they'll be really
yeah.
nice, and like I say, I think if I'm right in saying that some of the last production Thompsons, when they come out, may have them fitted
the
from
maroon
factory
ones.
as
Yeah,
well.
they're putting them on the
Am I
maroon
right on
ones.
that? Just
Yeah.
confirming before I said it. That was all.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And the maroon ones are due probably early next
End of
year
this
now.
month.
End
of this month they start coming. Yeah,
jump
yeah.
forward again.
Right.
Yeah, they come forward.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. We were waiting on
To be
these
fair,
couplings, and
They're
but,
the
yeah.
ones I'm looking forward to.
I think-
Colour wise.
You
Yeah.
won't shut up about them, will you?
look
Keep getting the
really
nice
nice.
blood and custard and the
I,
teak ones. When are the
I've missed
maroon
it.
ones
I've
due?
missed the trick. In fact, I'm going to disappear for a second and get one because I think you all need to see the production.
Okay.
but-
Yeah, no, that's fair.
There
That's
you go,
fair enough, mate.
He's off
Yeah.
set now.
Yeah,
that's it,
no,
he's gone.
Yeah.
he's gone off.
It's gone.
And I suppose whilst we're on about that, we can also talk about we've got here, just so you know that they're in stock, the rollerball bearing, as you can probably see there, phenomenal rollerball bearings, upgrades that you can do on
They
these.
just roll and roll. and
Yeah,
roll.
they are
So,
really, and they're available in 8-foot heavies, 8'6" lights, and 8'6" heavies. So it covers all the variations that we need for the Thompsons. But obviously, don't forget these type of bogies ran under Gresleys. So there's another manufacturer that does a nice Gresley. You could
Few
put them
different
under there.
kits, yeah, kit built
kit
ones
built as
and-
well. But also, I have done one, and it did go on the website. You could put the odd one under a Mark 1 that we produce as well, if any of you want to do that out there.
They were the
It did happen for better
buffets
riding.
for the restaurants.
Yeah,
buffets.
predominantly buffets, yeah.
It's the weird thing about Gresley's though, isn't it? You think of everyone else's pre-nationalisation bogey, and it didn't really get anywhere, whereas them, some of them ended up under BR's multiple units as
Yeah,
well.
they
They
got
And
got
don't forget
brake
the brake tenders. I was just going
yeah.
to say brake tenders as well. So if anybody's doing a brake tender out of a kit and you want a nice set of bogies,
Life's got a bit easier.
yeah, it's just got a bit easier than white metal castings. Yeah,
There's nothing worse.
so there's
is
them
there?
there, but they're lovely. They've all the fixing holes as well for all the boards for steps, etc., that you'll need for variations on coaches.
Yeah.
And as Chris has brought over one of the
I
late
know
factory
bang on about
samples,
it, but
yeah.
it's off the production run, this, isn't it? I believe, Ellis.
Yeah.
This is one of the first ones produced.
Yeah.
And we've got a pair, and
Yeah.
the colour and the finish is just lovely.
yeah, that's what sets them apart.
To me, you won't be able to see it there, but the interiors, that they've got the luggage racks in with the little lamps and the mirror
Mirrors,
that's actually
mirrors,
a mirror.
Yeah.
Proper mirrored card or
It's
whatever.
one of them.
they've
It's
used on
like it's gone so far in detail that they're just lovely for the price.
Yeah, they are.
The thing that sets
Um,
them apart for me is the brass sides on them. I've thought this all the way through
Yeah.
about the Thompsons, but it just looks somewhat. It pops more on the maroon ones, really. Just
Yeah.
the flushness of the glazing, the detail in there as well. I mean, Neil's had some of the teak versions on his workbench for the last couple of days or so, weathering them up for a couple of people, and they've looked really nice. But
They're
I can't.
nice when they're weathered.
Yeah,
I can't-
the shine of the
Yeah.
teak, which is correct for a brand new teak,
Mm.
looks a lot nicer when it's just weathered down a bit.
Gold off.
It
Yeah.
just loses that newness, basically, doesn't it?
Well, you've done about what 15 in the past few
In the past
last week
in the
and
last,
that. Yeah.
5 working days, yeah.
Yeah. And I said straight away, I didn't think they'd look. I thought they'd look nice, but I didn't think they'd look as nice as they actually
Something
did.
about
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah, it set the teaks off. It really did,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it was something special.
Just noticing on these as well, so I assume it's correct. These have got the Buckeyes fitted as well.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
were saying, they've come from the
Yeah.
production line, the first
Yeah.
ones,
So
they are
Exactly.
fitted with them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah,
Something a bit different.
Mm.
Something a bit.
So did he say it's end of the month for these now? Then?
End of the month,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
So
we-
probably into December.
Yeah. But if you
when
want to
will-
see these, if we don't have the actual coaches themselves, we'll have these samples at the Wally show. As
Yeah,
well. We'll
yeah,
have
the
the
parodies
of
samples at
Wally.
Wally. We'll be there
Yeah.
ourselves with the usual big ECT stamp.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of our samples.
Yeah.
We'll all be there as well.
Yeah,
so
we'll all be at Wally.
Don't forget the Clark Railworks stand. We're going to have
Fair point.
predominantly Clark
don't forget
Railworks
that,
at Wally.
or Amy will
Amy will be
not be
No,
happy.
no, she will not be. We make her out to be really scary, but she's not.
Yeah.
She's a pussy. She runs a tight ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, that's-
don't forget, and if you're not sure what the Clark Railworks site is, that's basically anything smaller than O gauge pre-owned.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get some absolutely superb
High
models
quality
on,
stuff.
high quality,
Yeah.
top of the range. We're not talking pre-owned, sort of £3.50 wagons. We're talking high end.
I think, to be
almost
fair,
like new
she's
models.
worse for being picky than you are.
Yeah, she is.
Probably,
No, she's
probably,
right.
yeah.
She
I've-
doesn't.
Yeah.
I've brought in a couple of bits actually that I am going to show off a little later on. You know, Ellis said before we made the video, "Oh, get some fun bits to bring in." I thought, okay, challenge accepted. So to
Go on
speak.
then. Let's
Well,
pull.
I want to speak about the Wickham Fest, mate.
All
I
right,
wanna
fair
get to
enough.
the
Yeah,
Wickham.
yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
has got his Thompson. I've got the Wickham.
Go on
I
then.
don't want to hold off, mate. I mean,
Yep.
this now. I mean, I'm sure most of you have seen it on the Facebook page recently where we've had the running samples, that sort of thing. People at home there watching have seen the developments on this. This is coming now, isn't it? This is on
Yeah.
the way. These are in production. These are coming through. Every time I look at it, I just think, how the heck? I can't get my head around how it all
Witchcraft.
fits in. Yeah,
Yeah.
some kind of dark magic going
Yeah.
on there, you know. But I love them. I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Everywhere they've been, they get such a good reception. Like Dave was saying, we had a pair of running samples at NEOG about 2 weeks ago now, I think it was.
At where?
But at NEOG, the North East Orgage show up
I'm
in
gonna say, 'cause
Sunderland.
I'm an EM modeler, so I got a clue what you're talking
yeah,
about.
so
mate.
up in Sunderland, there was a North East Orgage show.
Is that some secret society or something?
Yeah, backhand chairs and all
Yeah,
that. It's
right.
lovely guys. So we took the running samples because they'd arrived a few days before, and we'd done a few little tests and absolute Trojans. We had the DCC one running around Eastfield, which is, if you haven't seen it, it is an incredible layout. It's massive.
That's the big
built by
Scottish depot,
Stoke,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Eastfield Depot. It's incredible. So we had the DCC one running around there on Saturday evening. Throughout the day at the show, we had both DC and DC Wickhams just dotted around the hall with different layouts being tested and run, and everyone loved them. We got a few pre-orders off the people running the layouts because they were just so impressed with.
I mean, the other thing you've got to remember as well is all the mechanism, as in the running gear, and also should you decide you want a DCC sound fitted one, is all inside the model. It's not been put into the
mad,
trailer
innit?
or anything like that.
Well, that's why
And it's got a cordless motor as well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we've not skimped on what we've put in it.
Well, it's kind of like naively before we started doing this. By the way, this one doesn't have a motor in it. That's why I'm rolling it back and forth. They all do, but this one actually doesn't. I'll have to go get one in a minute.
Yeah.
But when we first started doing manufacturing stuff, you always wonder how delays actually happen, sort of thing. You wonder how does stuff get delayed by so much, and it's frustrating when stuff is delayed that you want to see out on the market, but it's even more frustrating when it's your own product sort of thing. And I think we added a bit of time onto the original sort of release to begin with, but it literally did take about a year in the end. You know, the running, the tweaking, the changing, but every single revision takes a bit of it. It takes another month or so, because you gotta change either something in the tooling, changing something there, change something else on it, and you find you change this on the tool and they're like, oh, it's now affected how it runs on this, how it runs on that, and the amount of samples and back and forth, and it's like you just like eventually like.
It's
It's
the butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's not just okay, that's fixed, move on. It's this means that means that.
Exactly.
If you change a component, they've got to go and get the component.
Yeah.
You know,
If they can even get it.
And the worst thing for us is all of us are modelers, and we're probably worse than most because it doesn't pass our tests, and we delay it by another month because we're not happy with the detail.
Well, we had that 3 months ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
I might have been 4 months ago. I think it was just before you started. We got the latest running sample, and remember we had it on the layout, and I was like, and I knew in my head, I wasn't 100% happy with it, and that's the problem. I can't sleep at night unless it's absolutely bang on. And I said to you guys, I was like, look, we've got 99% out of what we can get out of this model, but what do you think? Because I think we can get a bit more out of how it runs, and I think you were in the exact same like. I think you were both like, I want to say go to manufacturing and let's get it out, but we were like, we think there's a little bit more we can do just to get it right, and that were like 3-4 months ago. And we've done it now. We got it. It was when it. We added extra pickups and changed
the
a few
factory
bits.
were ready to go as well.
They were, They were like,
press the button, get it done.
and we'll have them in before the end of the year. And we were like, we could get them in.
That's when I did them new pickups that night.
It was. You went home, didn't you? And you were like, I think I know what I need to change.
Pickups.
That was funny.
Finished work and started work at home.
That's the other thing as well, because this is the stuff that you guys won't see. When the amount of times when we get samples and stuff, and we all sit down, we're like, what do we think it needs? What do we think we need to change? And you'll take it home, for example, and I'll get a video on WhatsApp Warner, and you'll be like, look, here we go. This is what I've changed. I think this will do it, sort of thing. That's what we did on the pickups, innit?
Yeah. Club layouts have been very handy through the process.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're a member of a club, and both me and Dave are, and we're kind of fortunate in the fact
I'm a member of Keith.
Of
I keep paying for it. I just never get a chance to go. I think I went about once 3 years ago, and I've just never.
It pays dividends, doesn't it? You know, we can take it down, and even in such a thing where you can go right to a club member, there you go, borrow that for 3 hours. Come back to it at the end of the night. What have you found? And they can give you an honest, independent. It doesn't quite do this, and it might not. It might need that, or I'm not quite happy about this in the operation. Then you think, oh, right, okay, well, I didn't quite see that on our test track because we've only got a circle here and a couple of points. So it's really good to have people with nice layouts.
It's the same reason when they test cars, do you always take them out on the road before they start selling them? You've got to use it for what it's made for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Black 5. I know we've had a couple of running samples of that, and I know we're getting some more soon. But that's made to haul big rakes. So
Yeah,
we had it hauling
exactly, yeah.
big rakes. There's no point in just putting
In
it on
fact,
a rolling
ironically,
roll
I think
backwards
it
and
will
forwards.
actually haul more than a proper Black 5 would.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
already.
yeah.
Yeah. We're that. Well, I said that. I said I want it to haul more than it actually would.
Yeah.
You know, I almost wanted to pull me along, kind of thing. You know,
Well, that was the reason going to the Black 5 why we chose Brian's ABC helical motor and gearbox, wasn't it?
It's a known product out there.
They don't fail. Like, how often do you
No.
hear of them motor
Well,
gearboxes
never
giving
never.
issues? They're just flawless. Brian's attention to detail is just incredible when he's putting the gearboxes together, and
Yeah,
that's the kind of quality we aim for, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
we could do it cheap, we could, but would we be happy with it? I don't think so. You know.
Well, what's the first thing we always look at when there's a pre-owned 7mm model coming in, and you're valuing it? You'd always look underneath.
Yeah,
and
flip
you
it
always
over.
look at the wheels, what wheels are on it, how the chassis is built, and what motor and gearbox is in it.
Yeah.
Because that
Paramount,
means
innit?
quality or not, depending on the model at the end of the day.
So important in 7mm, isn't
It
it?
is.
So important. Well, in any scale, really.
Yeah.
But you know, because
running qualities, noise, etc. Is very important.
Yeah.
Which is why we went down that, as we have with back onto the Wickham in a polite way. You know, the Wickham really has still got. All right, it's not got an ABC gearbox in it, but it's still got
A cordless motor.
Oh,
cordless motor,
cordless motor,
you know,
very
which
high
I think
quality.
something like 19mm long by 9mm wide or something.
Yeah,
isn't it?
one cheap.
Something like that is that little motor
Yeah.
driving off both ends.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Four-wheel
With,
drive.
yeah,
Absolutely.
with I believe it's brass gears.
Yeah, it's,
You know, they're not just cheap little.
It comes back to the
little
simple
nylon.
thing, doesn't it? With us all being modelers, it's would we sell something that we wouldn't buy? Well, I wouldn't be happy doing that, and I know Ellis wouldn't, and I know you guys wouldn't.
Well, you know, we don't do false sales pitches at the end of the day, do we?
No.
Where, you know,
It's like your newsletters. Your newsletters are something different to a lot of sort of different companies where we have a delay or we have an issue, and instead of trying to cover it, we just go, "Sorry guys, this is the problem."
Yeah.
And you've done it. Best policy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, you know, we're not. Yeah,
we're just all straight talking Northerners.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, we can. Yeah, but we'd be terrible as car salesmen, wouldn't we? Oh no, failed its MOT a couple of months ago, so welded a new bumper on it, but it's fine now. Be fine, don't worry about it. You know, sort of thing. But no, but
it even comes down to the pre-orders. So we don't charge for pre-orders, so there's no onus really to have it out for next week because we're not sitting on other people's money for a project. You know, it's all self-funded by the company. ECT pays for all of its own projects.
Yeah.
And then a lot of blood, sweat, and tears from yourself and the rest of us to
exactly.
get them over the line. But you know, the customers are quite lucky in the fact that they can register interest online for free, and we get a good picture of. Well, this one's going to sell more. We could do more of this. Or,
that's really why we do it, isn't it?
It's just expressions of interest, isn't it? Rather than put a deposit down and you know wait 2-3 years for delays, like we say, which are inevitable. They do happen in projects.
They are if you are wanting a product to be right when it goes out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny thing is the model railway world. Because if this was a car manufacturer's world, we keep doing this, you know, analogy of the car motor industry. You wouldn't announce the Wickham trolley until it was due out in January. You'd announce it now.
We should do one of those liveries you see in test cars where they don't want pictures taken with all the zigzag lines in it and stuff.
But you know, in this industry, we like to announce what we're doing beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes that beforehand can be 18 months, 2 years. And you know, it is something you hear on the news all the time that the scenario at the moment is, with the way the world's been in the last 2.5 years, that, you know, components are hard to get. And let's be perfectly honest, in the electronics world, because that little Wickham, if you're on a DCC fitted sound one, has got a heck of a lot of electronics, and some of the little micro connectors come out of mobile phone world. And guess what? Model railway world doesn't get high enough up the pecking order when we're wanting a couple of thousand, because other manufacturers that are wanting tens of thousands go in there and just buy them. And then we're almost on the sweepings up in some respects. And that, I think's what's affected our industry in the last 18 months to a year. And I'm standing up for other manufacturers now when, you know, customers are always saying things like, Where's my model? Why is this being pushed back? Why haven't we got it produced? You know, you said you announced it in January, it's now December, it's not here. that's probably why.
Everyone's working.
Everybody's
as hard
got.
as they can, aren't they?
None of them want it
it's
because
not great.
really they want to sell it.
Yeah.
You know, they want it in and out. As
I
much
think
as they can.
the great thing though, that like we always say in this industry, and you guys probably don't see it as much when I put out my email newsletters. The feedback I get on, don't worry, we understand the delay. Just thank you for being honest. It's amazing, honestly. That
cheers everyone for doing that.
Yeah. Honestly, it really helps. But it's honestly, and I think it's not a reward for being honest or anything like that, but it justifies.
It's just
being it's just nice. It's nice to it makes you want to be completely open and honest with it just it's like a thanks, like it backs us up, it makes a and it just makes us want to get it right, and that's the thing. The email's like, we just want to see a good product, right? Don't mind the delays, and that's.
Is the proof's got to be in the pudding anyway, because we've got this at the front of the desk.
Isn't that for this little fella?
It is.
Is it something to do with this?
I think
this thing
is that what it is?
We were waiting for a while.
It's got the words on the front of it, I think. So it's...
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about this trophy if you want, or
is that your
that's
coffee?
my coffee trophy.
Is that your coffee trophy?
It's 11 years old now. Is that coffee trophy? So I don't know if it's expired or not. Maybe
does it go out of date?
Well, they used to put a sticker on the window in the store saying Barista of the Year works here, and then I think it left about 2 months later. So
you're making better coffees in the better
well,
shop.
yeah. So,
You didn't even give him the trophy back,
No, I'm keeping that. Yeah, goes in my. It's the only personal trophy I've got.
I mean, to be fair, if you've never been to the shop in Skipton, I will confirm his coffees are pretty good. They're decent.
Up there,
oh yeah, there's a menu up there.
And that's just a slow selection.
I mean, I'm not a big-headed guy, but yeah, my coffees are very, very good.
We do have one regular customer who comes in every week and complains that it's the most expensive coffee shop in Skipton because he always ends up leaving with a model.
Well, the coffee's free, but yeah. Oh, it's funny. I think because we were worried that we might not be able to talk like this in front of the camera because it's the first time we've ever done it, but we talked so much now we'd forgotten about OOHO, Clark Railworks and other stuff now. Everyone knows about the award this win, didn't they? Let's not bang on. Let's be modest. Let's be modest. But I will put that at the front with the award right there.
That award we've won, yeah.
I mean, I've brought a bit of a show and tell, to be quite honest with you, of sort of new and
there we go.
And that's a weathered one by Neil. Just in case you were wondering, front and centre.
I've brought a little bit of show and tell, to be honest with you guys. Right. Ellis did say it before we came in. He said, just get a good bit of a mix. And I thought, right, okay.
What's this for? Sorry.
This is a bit of everything now. This is for not our stuff now. This is everything else we do. Sort of the new second-hand O-gauge and bigger. The little bit of Clark Railworks there as well.
Don't forget.
I was about to say, because we talk about Clark Railworks and Ellis Clark Trains all the time, and for those wondering, basically what happened was, at the start of COVID, obviously all the exhibitions got cancelled, and we used to take the majority of our OOHO and sell it at exhibitions. Ellis Clark Trains, well established, O-gauge, gauge 1, but we still had all our pre-owned HO, OON gauge, HOM3, ON30. We do all scales, everything, and a bit of G scale goes in Clark Railworks too. And it was like a case of, well, how are we going to sell all this? We don't have any exhibitions now. We still got it coming in. So, Amy and me at the start of COVID, weird time when it was just me and Amy coming into the office and everyone were like working from home and stuff. But we got Clark Railworks going as a website, started listening there, and then it's just done what Ellis Clark Trains says, and boom, done it. So we got two websites now, Clark Railworks and Ellis Clark Trains. And
the stuff that we're
known
for on Clark Railworks, Dave's just unboxing something.
Yeah.
It's
there's some
stuff I didn't even know existed.
I mean, well, to be fair, let's be honest on here. In our forte as a model,
absolutely
is it?
not.
But they're beautiful models.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like that Scale 4 stuff we had in the
Scale 4 collection.
Yeah.
So that was so niche.
Scale 4 DCC sound fitted.
Yeah.
This is one I've brought along. I know you can't see it too well on camera, guys. Sorry about that. But this is one. Sure, some of you know all about it, but some you might not be too familiar.
This is one I didn't know about.
This is remodels. So actually, it's one of them. If you're a UK model, you might do a bit of US, something like that. Europe, you think German, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you always think German
Swiss.
logos,
Or a
bit of
Swiss.
Swiss,
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's so much else going on out there. You
It's
know,
mad,
all
isn't
different
it?
companies.
Yeah.
I never knew the French HO scene was as big as it was.
No,
but
neither
these
did I,
guys,
yeah.
LS models, so
Yeah,
much going
I've
on.
never heard of these
I
prior to this.
really wanted to bring one into today, and this is the last steam
Are they a
loco I've
French-
got.
Is that the last one
Are
we've
they a
got
French
now?
manufacturer as well?
They are.
Yeah.
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 Because we had
Paris,
some
France.
of the big, the 241s, the huge, is it
Designed
Chapelon?
in
Yeah.
France.
Chapelon Nord. Yeah.
Yeah, made in China, but designed. So it's a French manufacturer, isn't it? It's
But you're all going to know where I'm going to go with this guy now, because this is one of what they call the USA tanks in the UK.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
everywhere Adam, they were mainly built in the US, I think. I think some to a different design were built out in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But they went everywhere, and everyone's done a model of one now, because you can get the Backman one in 00.
Oh, is it the
Yeah.
same one that's at the Worth
It's-
Valley, isn't it?
yeah,
It is, yeah. So there's a few of them out there, but again, just showing that there's a French manufacturer is making a French specific version of that,
Yeah.
as it was under the SNCF. You know, it's just a nice model.
They're a
But
lovely model,
when
aren't
when that stuff came through, there were all
they?
things
It's
like
die-cast too.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. Yeah.
I didn't actually notice that when I picked
Yeah.
it up. I was just concentrating on what I was saying,
Do the temperature
Yeah,
test.
rather
That's
than
what
what I
that is,
was
by the way.
feeling. It's-
Not kissing it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
you
big.
don't love the train
it's
that
French.
much.
That's how they do it, though, isn't it?
It's a plastic cab with a lovely model, and I've genuinely never looked at one before now. I've seen the boxes coming through the office.
Yeah.
And obviously, when they came in, I said to you, "Who are we? I've never heard of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
before."
I
And
haven't neither till it
I'd had it in before, and when it came in, I said, "This is nice stuff. I
Lovely
like
stuff.
buying
So-
remodel stuff. It's
So I'm going to
lovely."
swap up quickly now, and I'm going to have
this
to
is
go
gonna
diesels.
cost him
I'm
down
afraid.
here.
Oh, here we go. Here we
I'm
go.
going to have to go diesels, guys. I'm sorry.
My go comes out.
Here we are, yeah. Just me and Chris taking over for a moment. So
it just needs to be bigger for them pair. If they
Yeah.
were double the size, I'd be happy.
I just wanted to say with this really quick sort of the sales pitch almost is
They're
we
rare
get a
now, aren't they?
lot of the rare stuff
Yeah.
as well. A lot of the limited edition stuff. This is one of the Rail Express packs they did about 10 years ago. I don't think they've
10
ever
years
actually
now.
made these in this colour since. Certainly not 37.501.
Yeah, we're about
which is
to
going
say
to
I
be the
ain't
bottom
seen
one
that.
now. I'm not looking at it.
No, you
No,
got
I
it right.
was
Look
there,
at
I was
that. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They've done. I think they did 518, didn't they, in red stripe?
Yeah.
But it's a different style.
The other
to that
thing
one.
I want to say though as well, which you might not be able to see, I hope you can on the video, is the quality of that model. Looks like it's almost brand new, straight from the manufacturer.
Yeah, well,
As
that's the
Dave
thing.
says,
isn't
it
it?
could
Well,
be
we had a-
6 or 8 year old that now.
Yeah.
a couple of weeks back, and it's gone to someone we know actually bought it in the end, unrelated. It was a Rail Express Teenage Cancer Trust Class 60,
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I
and
know.
it was
Yeah.
so that's a good 10-year-old as a model, and it was still in its tissue. It was completely unused, brand new.
It would like someone had
And-
one of those time capsules,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
literally
You
been
know,
dug
it's,
out of the
Yeah.
back of a cupboard,
Yeah.
not touched since it was bought, and that's the kind of thing that Amy let us go onto the website.
Yeah.
Anything used and damaged and what it
The-
just
but the
avoids
other
it.
nice
She's
thing
just-
as well is, which is worth bringing up now, that will go out with a 6-month warranty
Absolutely.
from
Yeah.
Clark Railworks.
Yeah, we do all that,
Yeah,
don't we?
so,
Well, we do our...
You know, all locomotives, even
yeah.
though we're saying it's 6 to 8 months old, it's going to get a 6 months.
And it's tested
warranty on it,
prior.
and
We
yeah.
test them in the shop prior,
Yeah.
and they get a 6-month warranty, like
Yeah.
you say. And
Hmm.
we don't quibble. It's not a.
Yeah.
We don't try and find a way of getting out. of it.
No,
It's-
it's just a... Yeah,
you know,
it's... Yeah.
But that's
So-
worth bringing, and that also falls for the Ellis Clark Trains site as well, for the 7mm and larger.
absolutely,
Just
yeah.
speaking of Ellis Clark Trains, I want to dive back there for a second actually, and just say something. This is your bit here, by the way. So
Oh,
just
is that
putting you
one
in
of
there.
those ginties?
So we do the new stuff as well. We do a lot of the new as well as the second hand. This is one of Dapol's new ginties that they've released.
Yes,
But
yeah.
we're adding our own sort of twist on it. Like everything we do, Ellis always says, look, we've got to put like an ECT stamp on it, sort of thing. So Neil's actually doing these with custom numbers
Yes.
as well for the same price as the normal ones. So
I think it's mostly covering the preserved versions as well, isn't it? The numbers that
Oh,
are
we tend to
Yeah.
find a lot of
Yeah.
people
How
like
many
preserved
ginties
stuff.
are preserved? Does anyone know?
It's about 12,
10,
10,
12.
12.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
gonna
sure
say.
somebody will be able to put that in.
Well, yeah.
Without Wikipedia to hand, I can't,
Yeah.
can't get
Yeah.
to it.
But we
I'm
do
sure it's
find that a
fine.
lot of people like to run preserved locos, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah, loads. Yeah.
Um,
But it's the perfect balance, isn't it? Because you
Yeah.
can have modern image and then still get away with having some steam as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like the Black Fives. A lot of our Black Five choices are actually the preserved examples, but
some
they're
of
the
those.
ones that were
Yeah.
you doing this one? And we got asked quite a bit on, and so we just take
Yeah.
notes at shows. You know, when people come up and speak to us.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a Prez one because it's what I see now, isn't it?
It's
And
what
when
you
go,
know.
it's what you know, isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm going to cut there anyway from showing you new stuff on the ECT. Let's have a bit of a chat. I've got more to show you yet anyway, so we can bring them back in a little bit.
Do you bring the gold crocodile? Is
Don't tell them, Ellis. They're surprises here, but I'll bring my bits back in a little bit.
Do you want me to move this over?
Yeah.
Move it if you're wanting to get out else.
I think that's probably a nice, well-rounded place to.
Yeah, call it for now.
Cool.
We could be here for hours, and this is the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
it's hard to get where done where we start. We start
Yeah.
down
Could
the
run
path.
off and get something else. And
We do it all the time. But I think that's.
Wicked. We'll wrap up part one.
Yeah, obviously, let us know what you think about the video so far as well.
Yeah, thank you very, very much for joining us, guys,
Yeah,
and
speak to you
we'll
again.
speak to you soon.
See you
All the best. Bye.
Cheers.
These are the Ellis Clark Trains O-gauge working drophead Buckeye couplings. They work just like the real things. It's what many have been asking for, an O-gauge compatible with link couplings and most Buckeye couplings. Available to buy now from us, Ellis Clark Trains. Hello and welcome to part two. A little bit of a cock up before. I thought I was getting a little message that said wrap up part one. I thought he meant wrap the episode up. Our camera guy, this is actually part two. Surprise! Yeah.
We're back for more.
We're back for more. Yeah. Whether you like it or not. Yeah, I think I thought he was saying because we talked so much, time had flown by so much, and he was like, "Can you guys shut up now so I can wrap up the camera?" But no, he come back for more. So part two, and
The good thing is the boss doesn't know we're all sat in here talking yet. He's not found out.
yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, we don't really have a plan for part two, but just other than chatting.
We didn't know it was happening 10 minutes ago.
Well,
Did we
yeah.
have a plan for part one?
Did we ever have a plan? We do if Amy's involved. That's what it is. But you're pretty mental at the moment, actually, aren't you? With
Yeah, it's
with
been
our,
really busy, hasn't it?
research.
It's just picked back up again. We've
I'm
had a
surprised you're actually here today.
yeah.
I don't. In fact, I
Genuinely.
forget you actually work here. Later.
One day this week I'm in the
Yeah.
office, happens to be
Yeah.
today, so it's felt quite lucky, hasn't it?
You are actually doing research, are you? You're not just going to preserve
I-
railways
I
to ride on
think you're
trains.
right.
I think he's
Yeah.
doing that and going to cafes.
Yeah.
And then he's getting
Doing a
his
cafe
dinner.
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ticking off some winners and getting Ellis to pay for the dinner.
He's
and the
doing
fuel.
a railway version of Airy Bikers, isn't he? That's what he's doing. Next you'll be on a sidecar on a motorbike with him sort of thing going around railway camp. Yeah, there's something in that there, isn't
Absolutely,
there?
there's a show there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So that's why we had those sidecar drawings on the desk.
You just let that go now, that project.
Yeah. All you need is a ponytail as well. You've got the handlebar moustache growing out, haven't you? Yeah, but it's
So what have
perfect.
you actually been on with then, Chris? To go back to the actual...
Well, it's
So
not
obviously
there.
we've just wrapped up and announced the Sea Cow, Sea Lion and Sharks.
So you've been in Hull at the Sea Life Centre.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much. Yeah, it's so that's one of our little swanky leaflets that we've had done.
What do we do here? Is this how it works? It goes,
Yeah, look at that.
oh wow, look at very nice.
That's
Get yourself a self-ready train. It's made for the wall. It's
So is that an advent calendar?
Yeah, pretty much. Tick one off.
We could have made them as advent calendars.
Oh, that's an idea, isn't it? Get a part of your wagon.
But there is actually, I mean, they don't look basic and they aren't basic, are they? Really, there is.
So the problem with going back to mentioning Nicky, our CAD designer, set her a challenge. It's a rabbit warren.
It's like a dog with a bone.
You
then,
kind of
she's off.
yeah. You say to her, I'd really like it to say, I've spinning axle ends on the Sea Cow Sea Lions, and she'll go, right, okay, leave it with me. And then about 24 hours later, she'll come back and go, right, I've got it.
I've got a solve.
We're going to do that. We've got a solve for it. It's done. It's
Yeah.
and it's there. It works.
It's ace, isn't it?
Not like the pipe works. We spent hours and hours tracing. Then typical BR, nothing matches another one. Nothing's the same. So we had to spend hours tracing different pipeworks and getting the average of them all to make a model from. Because obviously we're not going to go and plumb every single one differently, but we want them to be as close
to
as they should be.
Yeah, it's they're absolutely crazy when you look at them and the insides, the outside.
Even like the Sharks, they've got full cabin interior.
Yeah, I know, little stove and everything.
Yeah,
I loved them when you and Nikki were when you were looking at them, and then when Nikki showed me the first CADs and what was going into it, I was like.
And that
what are we doing here? Like, what? These are insane.
And it's even like the plows. I said to her, I'd love to be able to have the plows to move. Now, all right, they don't move on their own. You've got to take them off, and there's a screw underneath, and the spring loaded, so you can drop the plow down up and down.
You can adjust its height or set its height before you run it.
So if you garden railways and it snows outside, there we go. You just
really
lower it down, sweep your track off. Yeah.
But again, they've just been an incredible. That was the second project all around. Obviously, we've got the Pullmans that we work with Darstead on.
Yeah.
So it's just been incredible, and obviously it's the inevitable question: what comes next? What do we do next? And obviously, we're not going to say what we're going to do next. But
no,
again,
don't ask. Don't ask.
I've been out of the office all week. I feel like I barely based in Skipton anymore because it's travelling at the moment, measuring things up and getting drawings and speaking to people who know way more about these things than I do. It's an interesting job. It's an incredible.
You always try to find the guru of
You've
that
got to
particular
find an
item.
expert.
You've got. You do.
I know a lot about trains, and but I'll never confess to knowing everything because you just don't.
No, it's impossible. There's so much.
But there are people out there that know so much about a particular wagon.
Wagons, locomotives,
and you don't even know who they are really. You've never heard of them. They might never have done an article or anything.
You might see the name on a book or in a magazine article, and
it's when you talk to them, isn't it? You know, and it's like, wow,
your
knowledge
massive knowledge on that.
It's like if you ask me about coffee. And that
coffee and cars.
The thing is, isn't it, that the trick? Like I said, when I did the research on the Black 5, for example, and the amount of info and what I learned just on that one locomotive in the LMS was phenomenal, and I've got a reasonably good knowledge, but that's just one locomotive within one company, and outside of that, it's
incredible.
Things you never realised existed when you see black and white photos or drawings. Things that never came to it. One of the Facebook groups I follow is British What If and Never Were Locomotives.
It's a good one.
It's good, that, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's silly things like buffers. If you don't look at buffers, that you could get 4 or 5 different patterns on one vehicle.
Yeah.
One vehicle type. Yeah. Axle boxes and coupling types and it's rivet patterns and
some cases it's different for 6 months while they put a different buffer on and then you took it back off on a certain wagon
or a different chimney
locomotive.
for a week.
That's the annoying picture when you find one where you think you've got it right and then someone goes, well, look, I saw it like this on this date, and you're like, oh no, why did you have to show me that? Now I've got to figure out.
1966.
Now I've got to figure out why. And it's like,
and rivet counting is
Well, it's a literal thing, isn't it?
It's the most laborious job ever.
Yeah, but you have to do it.
I feel for Nikki when she has to draw every single one and move them around, and then I've got to sit there and count them.
And then you lose count.
And someone comes up and goes, "Oh, Chris, can you just?" And you're like,
it's almost like the people who designed the real life things had the easy job, isn't it? Actually making the models
on the
of
Black
them.
5 tender. Counting the rivets on the back of the Black 5 tender, and we found one had 31 and one had 32. Same tender on the riveted tender. What do you do?
Like the hoppers. I must have counted the rivets on them, the shark, the sea cow and sea lion, more times than I dare to even admit. You've got to do it. Once Nikki's sort of to help Nikki get set up for the CADs, you've got to say, oh, there's this many here and there's that many there, and then she'll start drawing it, and then obviously she's got to count them to draw them on.
Yeah.
But then you've got to count to check that they're right, and then it tests your patience.
And especially on one of those hoppers, because there's a lot of rivets on one of them.
Oh, you're not kidding. But the thing is, they've got to be right. Again, it comes back to I want to personally. That's my interest. That's my time period of what I model. Again, you've got to come back to, well, would I buy it? Well, yeah, I want a Rec of 10, but then they've got to be right for me as well as everybody else. You don't want to just do a half-planned model because
Yep.
Well, let's face it, we're a business at the end of the day. They've got to sell.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could get lazy, and I'm not going to count them 5 rivets there, and then we miss them, and then somebody will inevitably point it out, and they do, and we're more than grateful of that,
isn't it? It really is. It really is.
People think it's an irritation when someone says, "Oh, that's wrong." Well, it's nice when they do it at the CAD stage because we can go, "Oh, brilliant, right, well, we'll change that." It's when you produce the model and they go, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it's one of them. A lot of people joke. You see it on the forums, don't you? People saying, "Oh, rivet counters this, rivet counters that," but actually,
yeah, we are
at the right place at the right time. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
And when you get those people, it's what makes a good model a great model.
And the lucky thing is as well, again, coming back to the fact we're all modelers, so you can go really blank on something. You can be staring at something for weeks and weeks on end, and you'll still miss the smallest of detail. But it's luckily at that point I can say, Neil, just have a quick look over this, and you'll go, well, where's that? And I'll go, yeah, why have I not seen that?
Speaking of rivets, have you ever used one of those weighted rivet punchers where it's almost like a pen and it's got a weight and you drop it and it punches your rivet? I got my workshop were upstairs and Amy were in the lounge downstairs watching TV, and every it goes like that. After about 2 minutes, I got a message going, what on earth are you doing up there? So I sent her a little video of me with like the rivet punch line, and she was like, what? What is
Neil can't say anything about rivets because you pay him every week to make them disappear.
That's true. Yeah.
So is that one you've been doing at the moment, mate?
That's one I've done yesterday, actually. He's actually going to a customer, but we won't say which one. Yeah, that's one of our press flows that's weathered and ready to go now.
It's quite a fun, unique job you have, isn't it? Really, Neil?
It is.
Do you remember what?
It is really, yeah.
Do you remember what Andres of Who Owns Darstead? Do you remember what he said to you the first time he met you? I was like, "Oh, this is Neil. He's the one who weathers all your coaches." And he's like, "You're the one who wreck all my coaches and ruin my nice clean coaches." It was funny, was that? It was really funny.
Yeah, it was.
So you could put Destroyer of Dreams on
yeah. But the press flows are a little bit different, want to weather anyway.
Yeah.
Because obviously, in my opinion, I don't think you can weather a press flow just with a spray gun
and airbrush. No,
because
they're too flat, aren't they?
It's too flat. There's too many concretions on there from the cement that gives it a texture. So
move my coffee out of the way.
So on them, yes, it's done with a spray gun, but then it's actually glued on with watered down PVA using a MIG weathering powder and tamped on.
It just sets it off, though, doesn't it? It gives it the
sort of a proper
horrible crusty look they had, because they were never clean for long. Not when you're chucking them under powdered cement.
Why did they make them with all those grooves in the side?
You'd have thought that
it was because of the pressure.
Oh, is that what it is?
The under pressure load of it.
That makes sense.
There is a picture or two of them early prototypes exploding under the pressure.
Did you ever see there was a video knocking around, and it must be 10 years ago, of it was one of the foreign railways, Germany or something, and it was a cylindrical tank, and they emptied it too quick, and it just sucks in and it crushes.
Now, this is how we make a proper YouTube video. Have things exploding, have things, like...
Yeah, next week we need pyros.
How can we destroy this model? Everyone bring like a hammer or something. If we're doing this YouTube thing properly, that's where we need to go. But no, it is stunning, that, mate. I mean, that's just one of many, isn't it? So,
Chris is good at destroying them anyway. Just get Chris on.
We could get Bert on.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that reference or not. Before you did I not tell you about that one?
Yes.
This is my your finest hour. The new kid on the.
It's my finest moment of ECT.
So we only had one each of the decorated samples when we got in. We had them at a cabinet at the back.
Is this for the press flows?
This was for the press flows. My pride and joy. First project. We looked after them like we loved them.
They toured the country.
They toured the country. Anyway, Chris comes along and he was clearing out the cabinet that they were in and changing the shelves around. And this cabinet, I want the best cabinet in the world, and that's why we were clearing it.
I blame the purchase of the cabinet.
And Chris, I can't remember. I think you took either a top shelf or a lid off, and it basically turned out that was
Structurally integral.
structurally integral
That
to
was the key piece.
That's the key piece. Breslows on the bottom shelf. All the glass shells just went ding, 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 smashed, and crushed all the decorated samples in the middle of it. And I just came through, and I looked, and I went,
Job centre on Monday.
Yeah. I was like, oh, and your face was like, oh no.
I'd only
what
been here.
have I
What
done?
had I been here?
Yeah,
Month,
yeah,
if
man.
that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, in the moments you're like, Neil, any chance?
Yeah.
Neil,
Before Ellis knows, can you?
You were called a
shit.
wizard recently on the Facebook page.
Oh,
I think,
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
you? Well, that's a bit magic, is that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was funny.
It was a good
Afterwards.
first month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll never forget.
Right,
that.
and a few samples
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're all
As you do.
human, though, aren't we?
We're all
To an
human.
extent.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing I do anyway, you know. But
No, there's some good stuff coming through from your side, isn't there, really? So.
yeah, there really
Yeah,
is.
it's nice, and it might be a good thing to do next time. Is just have a bit of whatever you're working on. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
can
go
do.
through so much. I've never known
Yeah,
someone
that's the thing. It's
Think
8
you should
hours
go
a
home
day.
and do it at home.
Yeah. Plus
Tonight I'll be at Railway Club tonight building track.
what do you do when you've got a week off as well? Busman's holiday, isn't it? Go home and model for
Well,
a week.
last time I sprayed a 4F for it, if you remember.
Yes, you did. Yeah. That was
That's the
funny.
point. Maybe if I bring the Capote Black 5 you're doing up, you might get it done for some point this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Right,
So-
I'm going to show some of my goodies.
So
again.
what have you
Yeah,
got then?
yeah.
Come on then, Dave.
So, I'm going to get a load of people rolling their eyes. Not just you three, but
Okay.
loads of people. There's a few people out there who know me, I'm sure. And as soon as I put this on, they're going to go, oh, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
It's the Isle of Man, guys.
Yeah.
It's me.
It's a blood,
There's-
is it a
do you
blood,
like
is
the
that
Isle
a
of
blood
Man?
and custard period?
Have you ever been to the Isle of Man?
LMS coach?
So, yeah, this is a BR version. No, this is one of the G-scale Acicraft Isle of Man coaches. This is one of the 1873 vehicles. You might know that I know a lot about the Isle of Man, which is why I'm going for it. But yeah, I had to get some at Manx into my first one, then there'd be people who'd rage at me if I didn't, including myself. So they're actually really nice models, though. We're
Yeah, they are.
seeing more and more of this narrow gauge
Yeah,
coming
we do.
through.
We do.
We've had over the last month or so. We've had Welsh Pool. I'm going to murder all the Welsh names now as well. Taliclin, Festiniog, that sort of thing.
We've had all the big hitters, haven't we? We've had a lot of nice stuff.
I didn't realise just how much of it they'd actually made. I
Yeah,
had a
I know,
fair
yeah.
idea, but all the Acicraft Live Steam,
Yeah.
the other companies out there as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can get the likes of the original Taliclin locos.
Yeah.
You can get both of the Welsh Pool Bayers. You can get quite a few of the Manx Bayer Peacocks. You can get Caledonia as well. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people getting into like 009 now, isn't there? Because even as we speak this week, there's been
Yeah.
009
Yeah,
announcements of
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice looking models. The
Yeah, there has.
Was that the
Penryn mainline
Batman?
Hunslets,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
Batman
Yeah.
ones, wasn't
And
it?
They look lovely.
they look really, really nice. But if you want it bigger and you want it in the garden as well, there's a lot of stuff out there for it.
Yeah.
And every time this Manx stuff comes in, I mean, you guys know, some of you out there do, I occasionally go to the Isle of Man. I do, actually, to be
I
serious.
thought
for a
you
lot.
lived there and commuted.
Well, yeah, the boat's a bit expensive, mate. But yeah, to explain it for a moment, I do quite a bit of volunteering over there on the full-size railways and tramways, so it's always a bit of a passion for me. So every time this sort of thing comes in fact, actually, we've done 2 big purchases
That was
recently
funny.
from the Isle of
Yeah.
Man. And Ellis pretty much just pointed at me and said, "You know this." So the fact that Ellis actually spells the name of the place wrong on all of the documents, and I've not pointed it out
Oh,
to him
yeah,
before
no.
today.
Oh,
I
no.
kept that for this situation to put him on the
To
spot.
publicly
Yeah,
humiliate
to
me.
publicly humiliate you. So,
It's
yeah,
like when people put an E on the end of Clark.
Yeah, fair point, yeah. That's I've got used to saying that it's Clark without an E.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then last but not least, well, this isn't a Dave bit because Alice basically thrust this at me and said, "This is going on." So I didn't really get a choice on this one.
You know
But,
me,
I mean,
like-
it's worth it though.
It is incredible, isn't
You
it?
know, this is. I mean, it's It's gold. You know, it's what else do you say? You know, it's shiny trains. So it's.
I couldn't resist. I just thought it was so crazy.
I don't think I've actually seen this.
I've
in
not
the
looked in
flesh.
it.
I must admit, I've never.
Never been out the box. Never been
right,
out.
I'm gonna
No, you can take that.
I'm going to stop.
You can't. Oh no, that's on you.
So
This is such a letdown now, isn't it?
There might not even be one in there.
We're not doing an unboxing.
It's the nicest bit of foam you've ever seen. Yeah, it's perfect. So, but you can see the picture on box anyway.
Just like the picture.
That's we promise. That's what's in
there.
here. We, you know.
Be really funny if it's not in there.
Yeah, that's
or not.
That's one for the director's cut.
Yeah.
I think. Isn't it? But yeah, that's just kind of saying the sort of thing we get. But is that gauge 1 then?
No, that's HO.
Is that
HO. That's HO. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it comes with a big display case. That's why, in a glass plate.
You know
and
what?
everything.
I'm flicking through this book here. This is, I mean, it's all in German, so I'm afraid I did Spanish at school. But this is the full thing. It's how they made the model over 100 years ago. Now all the history. I mean, I'm at 40 pages and I'm still flicking through.
Oh yeah.
That's something that Marklin do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. We need to do a gold Wickham next. That's what we need. A solid gold Wickham.
Bring it on.
Any limited edition? Any takers?
Audio's now.
Yeah. New limited edition.
But yeah, it's the fun thing for me working here. I mean, as I'm sure
The
some
amount
of
of
you know,
random stuff we get through.
Yeah.
We've had what? We've had a load of 5-inch gauge stuff recently as well.
Yeah.
3 1/4, 5-inch gauge.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It's traction engines.
Have you
Out of all the things.
Have you actually ever been offered anything full size, like a full-on standard gauge or narrow gauge loco?
I've been offered some really interesting railway stuff over the years. Really interesting. I'm trying to think if I've been offered anything.
You've had a lot of railway Anna.
Lot of railway Anna.
Yeah.
Lot of railway Anna.
Yeah,
Love my railway Anna.
Posters. Posters a weird one.
Yeah.
You've got a real thing for posters.
I love railway posters, travel posters, railway posters. I think there is. I've got that Manx one, haven't I? That
That's my retirement present.
Yeah. Do you know the funny thing is about that? It's the same shape as the giant railway posters.
Oh yeah.
We don't have any space on the walls for me, but we've had them here before.
We've got one. There's one. You've got was it the Cambrian line one?
Yeah, I've got that one. I've got a few in the garage at home as well. But I bought that Manx one from auction, and it's about that big in a landscape format, and I thought I spent a lot of money on it. I thought I was buying a full size one, and I got it, and it was like.
And he loves it so much, considering everything I've just said about the Island Man and how much I'm passionate about the railways over there. Ellis loves that poster so much that it's completely hidden in our store. So if you ever come to the showroom and try and find that poster that Ellis loves so much and spent so much money on, it's like a bit of a mystery tour to find that one.
It's because we don't have any wall space.
Yeah.
So what
with cabinets?
Go on then, seeing as you're the boss and everything. What have you had recently that's made you sort of go, right, actually, yeah.
That 5-inch gauge Claude Hamilton. When we your voice made it, the voice on the little intro ad we did.
I played no part in it. It was a splendid locomotive. No, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me.
Oh, that were incredible. Once we started delving into it and started looking at the engineering behind it, the working lubricators and the history, we found it eventually. Yeah. Oh, that would just.
It was just nearly 50-year-old that or something.
Steam lock, wasn't it?
Early 1970s, yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
it was just a real one.
It was real one.
The lubricators,
down to everything. Working lubricators, everything. It was absolutely unreal. You know, the
even
reverses,
had a
the brake.
shovel with it, which was a replica. It even had. Did it have GER etched in the back of it?
It's absolute. What a model!
Absolute engine.
I mean, I wanted to keep
one of those. The more you looked at it, the more you went, "Wow!"
Yeah.
You know,
it really was.
It was.
When you'd polished it up as well, spent it just pinged,
transformed it, didn't it? It just absolutely, because it came in and it was fairly grotty, wasn't it? When it came in,
it was dusty.
Spent about 40 minutes just going over it, and it just absolutely transformed.
It really did.
The Locomotive.
I've bought some, honestly, some of the collections over the years. I've bought some of
Remember having that working live steam American snowplow?
yeah.
Oh, hell
About
yeah.
18 months ago.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got a
that's
video
what-
of
What
that on
gauge
our...
was that?
That was gauge 1.
Gauge 1
Gauge
was a
1.
gauge
Is
1
that on
live
Facebook?
It's on
steam.
Facebook, there's a
I'll
video
have
on
those.
Facebook.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's
And at
incredible.
first I thought, oh, it's live steam, it propels it. No, it doesn't. The
No.
live steam worked the sucker and blower and moved the vents left or right, and the big like aircraft.
The propeller.
What would you call it? Was it, is it
Yeah,
called a
propeller.
propeller?
That's
Would you
it.
call
The
it?
snow in
Yeah.
and blew it out.
Blew it out.
So it's
left
one of those
or
ones
right.
that like shoots it straight
Yeah,
out.
exactly
like
So
that,
it works
yeah.
like the real
So
one.
you needed a live steam loco to push
To
it.
push it.
Yeah.
It weren't propelled
Yeah,
by
it
the
wasn't
live steam
self-propelled.
inside
Honestly, it
it.
was
That just
phenomenal.
worked.
I'd
Yeah.
push that myself.
It-
I'd
Yeah,
be sat there
yeah.
behind it going,
Who was it? It was Devil's Creek or something, wasn't it? Models?
I
can't
think
remember.
it was it Snow Creek Models, something like
Yeah,
that?
I
It
can't
was something
remember.
like
Didn't
that.
that go out
It
to
was-
California or
It
something?
went
to
at the
Canada.
end?
America,
Canada.
yeah.
We
It's
said, I
Canada.
bet it goes back out
Yeah.
the road.
It's honestly a right toy.
If you
Yeah.
can find the video of it,
It's on Facebook. It's on our Facebook page.
It's
Yeah.
worth
I'm
it.
going to find
What-
that myself.
What
never
a
mind.
model that was!
Honestly, they were brilliant.
Yeah.
That were incredible. With
And,
that.
and all the doors and everything were all
Everything
timber
open,
hinged,
hinged,
and it
yeah.
all properly moved,
All
and all the
scratch built.
side vents lifted up with little bars
Yeah.
to hold them.
That
up.
was the thing, wasn't it? So it was all cladded like the real thing, but not only that, everything inside and underneath was fully detailed.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
funny thing is with models like that, it's like if you've ever seen like some prototypes, or when they're cladded, obviously, but everything's still there underneath. It's just cladded and you hinge, but obviously. You don't in a model. There's most.
You don't bother
It's the
modelling it,
money
do you?
you don't bother modelling it in case unless it's like that one off. But that had everything
in it,
underneath
yeah.
it, and so you couldn't see it unless you lifted up the hatches and
It
everything.
were
but-
a right model. wasn't
oh,
it?
it were
Yeah.
unreal with that. It
Proper.
was unreal.
Yeah.
It's one of them when you think, oh, am I paying the mortgage this month?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm not taking this snowplow.
Uh,
Yeah.
Honestly, well, it's like people ask if I've got a collection of my own all the time. Do you collect yourself or run? And yeah, I've got a bit of a collection, but a lot. I could keep so much more than I actually do. I mean, I've got I've got a few boxes, haven't I? And I've got my cupboard that I keep filling up, and then I box it up and I go hide it away, basically, squirrel it away. But because I like collecting bits and bobs.
It's the curiosities more for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
We always go
Yeah.
and have a look in your cupboard of curiosities when we're
we're
how
allowed
do
in it.
people do this?
Yeah.
How do people do that? And
Yeah.
we just like to. It's not so much as a research thing. It's more of a that's just incredible.
That's just
we
brilliant.
can't sell
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's got to stay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of getting ever fuller, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah,
It's expanding.
that's why I keep filling the cupboard, box it up, fill the cupboard, box it up. Yeah,
There's,
yeah, I think I'm a collector really, but never get time to run anything, but yeah.
I think that's about 98% of the people.
Yeah, I was about,
It
yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
My to-do pile keeps getting bigger, and so does yours, doesn't it?
But that's the
Yeah.
problem for us three. Obviously, Ellis being the boss at the end of the day, it's slightly different. But for us three working here, sometimes some of the stuff come in we like drool over, don't we? It's like
We've got a lovely Gauge 1 live steam an Aston 9F in the cabinet, and
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a soft spot for 9Fs, and I keep looking at it thinking, I could live on the shelf
Yeah.
at home, but where do you have to get a real strict.
Yeah.
No, you can't take that at home.
No.
It's like watching your kids go to school on the first day, isn't it? Really, it's kind of like
Oh, is that going out? Someone bought that. Oh no!
In fact, that was like you with that electric loco.
That were only last week,
Oh, the
Yeah.
ES1.
There was because what have they called? Helgen have just
Just
announced it,
announced
and
it,
yeah.
but we had an O gauge version in of it, and nothing to do with what a model, but every model has something to do with nothing to warn a model.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I thought,
I
it
just
needs
put
to.
glazing back in it, Anta. That's
Yeah,
right.
it
glazing
needed to
in
Yeah.
come home with me, and I thought I'll see if it's on the website tomorrow. If it still is, that's fate talking to me. I'm gonna have it. Of course, I didn't even get home. I checked the website as soon as I got up, sold out, and I thought, you lucky so and so. So if you're watching, you lucky so and so. It's a nice model. You've got something there. So if you ever want to sell it for double the price, just
Oh, brilliant. Well, should we? I think that's a good place to wrap up. Is that?
Yeah.
For us, it's been a lot of fun as that. So Well, that is officially now end of part 2.
Are we
Officially
sure?
now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're not. I don't think we've got a part 3, have we? You know, I mean 2 parts. 2 parts of episode 1 done. That is the end of episode 1. Thank you so much for joining us. That has been an absolute delight. Dave, Neil, Chris, thank you very much. We will see you all again soon and speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.